Greetings, brothers and sisters, and welcome to our National Sunday service. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all really seizing the opportunity to go outside and to take in the beautiful sunshiny weather that we have been blessed with throughout this past few weeks. I have been with my family at home, and we have been taking time to do hundoke together in the mornings and to even try and enjoy nature whenever we can by walking our little dogs or even by doing some individual prayer walks. So I hope you also have been able to do different activities like this by yourself or even with other family members and loved ones. I'd like to take this opportunity now to introduce myself. My name is Kieran Hoyt, and I will be your MC for this national service. I just want to remind you that last week we had a service along with the rest of the European and Middle East nations in sharing and understanding more about true Heavenly Parents' holy community. And we were able to receive many testimonies from different religious figures of different faiths on their understanding of this new title. Before we now formally begin our service, I'd like to begin with a prayer. So please join me in a prayer. Dearest most beloved Heavenly Parents and true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, Father, Mother, thank you for allowing us all to gather together here and now. Even though we may be spread out throughout all of the UK, we're still able to join in Holy Communion with you, to be able to share fellowship and love together with you, to be able to gain and receive inspiration through different mediums, through song, through the message, even through fellowship that we will have a little bit later. I am extremely grateful to be here and to be able to MC on behalf of these many beautiful brothers and sisters who are joining us together today. I pray that you can come into our homes and you can help us open our hearts and our minds to receive the message that you have prepared for us uniquely and individually today. I'd now like to offer this prayer in my name, Kieran Hoyt, of the Hoyt family, a central and blessed family. Adieu. Now, in the first section of this service, we will have a children's message given to us by AJ Wright. But before that, we have a song performance created by a group of second generation. So please enjoy the performance.
Strong bond of heart is the force, bringing the word into life. Join in a kingship of love, all shall live as one. Here in the home of our hearts, we'll share evermore. On this foundation of happiness, we shall live forever. With pride and heavenly war, unified soldiers mighty, with one accord we shall march on. True men of boundless domain, magnify their lives. Glorious beacons of truth, o'er all things of the earth. From that original word, life will spring and grow. In its expression it gives to all the fulfillment of hope. With pride and heavenly war, unified soldiers mightily, His will to do, we shall march on. Placed on the order of God, will be the truthfulness. One constant fighting against pledge of eternity. The highest standard of truth, which is raised above. transformed in its life shall be one family, ever to serve and attend our true parents all. Without a doubt the world shall be one world of victory. Whence pride and heavenly war, unified soldiers mightily. Into that ideal we shall march on. Mightily, into that ideal we shall march on. We shall march on.
The Little Squirrel. This particular story takes place long ago in ancient India, during the time of the 14 years in the wilderness for Rama and his wife Sita. They were joined by Rama's loyal and dutiful younger brother Lakshman, who dedicated his life to serving his elder brother. One day in the forest, Ravan, a demon with 10 heads, kidnapped Sita by playing a trick on her and took her to his kingdom in Lanka across the ocean. Ravan was a knowledgeable and powerful man, but in the process had also become very arrogant. Rama, along with his brother Lakshman, desperately went in search of his beloved wife. On the way, they met the Vanara king Sugriv, who agreed to help fight against the powerful Ravan. The Vanaras themselves were a strong race of monkey people who lived in the forest. To reach Lanka, where Sita was kept, however, Rama and the Vanaras had to cross a vast and stormy ocean. Rama thus asked his army to build a bridge over the sea, and work began at once on a stone bridge. Thousands of monkeys worked night and day. They pulled out rocks and heavy stones from the mountains and carried them to the sea. They cut them into shape and began to build the bridge. All this was very difficult work, but for them this work was holy and a source of pride. Then along came a little squirrel who had been watching this huge effort and wanted to contribute too. But every time he would come forward to help, the other animals would say, "You stay out of it, you are too small." But the little squirrel did not give up. He kept a watchful eye and darted around here and there to find a way that he could serve. His gaze fell upon some pebbles that he could carry. The little squirrel could only carry tiny pebbles at a time, and in this way he carried them from the seashore and dropped them into the sea to help build the bridge. As he worked, a great monkey was coming the opposite way, carrying a large heavy stone on his back, and almost bumped into the little squirrel. The monkey jumped back.
"Hey, you are such a small creature. What are you doing here?"
shouted the monkey in a voice like thunder.
"You're in my way. I nearly fell in the ocean."
The little squirrel looked up at the great monkey.
"I'm sorry you nearly fell, Brother Monkey,"
he said in his small voice.
"but please always look where you are going. I'm helping Lord Rama build the bridge, and I want to work hard for him."
"You what?"
shouted the monkey and laughed aloud.
"Did you hear that? The squirrel is building a bridge with his pebbles. Oh dear, I've never heard a funnier story."
The squirrel did not think this funny at all. He said,
"Look, I can't carry mountains or rocks. God gave me only a little strength. I can only carry pebbles. I too love Lord Rama, and I want to do my level best for him.
The monkeys, however, replied,
Don't be foolish. Do you think you can help Rama? Do you think we can build a bridge with pebbles? He has a big army to help him. Go home and don't get in our way.
But the little squirrel did not give up. Sitting now back on the seashore, he had an idea. Using his tail, he rolled around in the sea and then covered his tail in sand. He then came back to the ocean and dropped the sand along the bridge construction. The monkey people saw the hurrying squirrel and once again started laughing loudly. They shouted,
What is the use of the grains of sand, tiny fellow? Look at us bringing boulders and rocks for the bridge. Clear our way and allow us to do some meaningful work.
The squirrel did not respond, but calmly continued with his work. Losing patience, one of the monkeys picked the squirrel up and threw him back towards the shore. Rama was watching this and immediately caught hold of the little squirrel before he fell to the ground. Turning to the monkey people, he said, Do not make fun of the weak and the small. Your strength or what you do is not important. What matters is your love. This little squirrel has love in his heart. Oh, monkey people, you are brave and strong and are doing a wonderful job bringing all these huge boulders and stones from afar and dropping them in the ocean. But did you notice that it is the tiny pebbles and stones brought by this little squirrel which are filling the small gaps left between the huge stones? Also, did you not realize that the tiny grains of sand brought by this little squirrel are the ones which bind the whole structure and make it strong? Please do not be angry and scold the little squirrel. Hearing this, the monkey people were embarrassed and ashamed and bowed down their heads. Rama continued, Always remember, every effort, no matter how small, is important and should always be appreciated. Rama then turned to the little squirrel and said softly, My dear little squirrel, I am sorry for the hurt caused to you by my army, but now they understand your sincerity and want you to be in their team. Please go and continue your work happily. Then, holding the little squirrel up to him, he said, Little one, your love touches my heart. As he said these words, he passed his fingers gently over the little squirrel's back. Thus, the Indian palm squirrel got 3 stripes on his back as a blessing from Lord Rama to remind us that sincerity, love, and dedication of service is what matters to God. Just like the little squirrel, never give up in life. Trust yourself, and God's blessings will always be with you.
Hello, dear brothers and sisters of the Heavenly Parent Holy Community. Last week, we held our first Heavenly Parent Holy Community Sunday service here in Europe and Middle East.
The special service, which was broadcasted in 8 languages, attracted nearly 10,000 European members, with the notable participation of Muslim, Sikh, Catholic, Evangelical and Buddhist leaders. Together they shared the meaning of Holy Community, and after reading passages from various scriptures, they resolved to move forward into a new era in which all humanity can be united under Heavenly Parent.
True Mother herself was very glad to hear that various religious leaders attended and testified about the great announcement of the Heavenly Parent Holy Community. Furthermore, True Mother was very moved to hear your sharing through the messages that you sent to her last week. Another good news is the launch of the Heavenly Parent Holy Community of UPF, that will take place on May 28 on Zoom. By that time, we will have more news about the upcoming rally that your mother is preparing for the end of June. Now, let us hear some news about our brothers and sisters from the Western region.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Here in France, we've been trying to use this confinement period as a time of reflection. One of the first things we did was set up 2 Hunduke sessions every day, one at 7 in the morning, one at 7 in the evening, so that everyone could find a convenient time to join. We read through an introduction to the principle, and now we're reading through True Family Values, which is a book I do recommend to everyone. It really shows what God would like to see in our families. Then we set up a strategic committee, half first gen, half second gen, to reflect on the 7-year period that we're beginning. Where we are now, where we would like to be in 2027, and what concrete steps do we need to take to get there. And week by week, we're clarifying that vision.
Hello, brothers and sisters. We like to share something about our Heavenly Tribal Messiah activities in Zambia. As a couple, we worked there as missionaries from 1984 to 1987, and our son was born there.
And I went there for 40 days to do HTM activities in 2017. The local chief cooperated nicely with us, our spiritual son and bishop. Together we prepared 2 tribes, and since then we also sponsor various projects. In 2019, our team focused to prepare tribes for couples in the Netherlands. So now there are 16 HTM victors with whom we are planning to build an educational center for various activities. The chief donated this land to us. My husband and I are planning to go there this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me introduce our small NGO, Femmes au Secours de la Paix, Women Saving Peace. Now we are 52 women. We have 12 projects which allows every type of women to do something. Most important branch is peace education. Every month we have a lecture teaching all kind of things to heal the trauma of childhood or ancestry, whatever. We have French lessons, we have gardening, we have Tai Chi classes, art therapy classes, feeding homeless. We have a partnership in Senegal, Dakar, and we have a service project summertime, and I go there every year with young people. We have a school in Morocco, and we've been sending clothes for 5 years. Now we started a project in Nepal with a school in Kathmandu. We have a knitting group, knitting for premature children, and bit by bit our purpose is to really enter society and to develop a concrete way of the Chongelguk.
Dear brothers and sisters, greetings from Poland. As you know, Trumala asked to continue to support the Providence in Africa. We are working together as a team of Heavenly Tribal Messiahs to support our tribes in Liberia, where they have a very difficult situation due to COVID-19. They often don't have enough food or money for medicine. It is painful to know that blessed families and their children have to go through such a challenging period of time.
With joined forces, we informed our tribes in Europe and beyond about the situation of their brothers and sisters in Africa and received remarkable support. It is creating a wonderful solidarity as blessed families beyond the painful history of Africa and Europe. A new holy community centered on true parents. Thank you.
Dear brothers and sisters, my name is Dirk van Dorsten, and together with my wife, I'm responsible for Glory House. Many members across Europe know Glory House and receive Divine Principle workshop lessons here. In 1981, True Parents stayed here for 2 weeks, and therefore we feel it's a very special place, and we work very hard to make this a place to honor True Parents. We want to do this by showcasing True Parents' work, their words and projects, in the apartment where they stayed in 1981 for almost 2 weeks. The restoration has become possible by the donations of members across Europe and the support of our leaders at the European, regional and national levels, and of course the work done by our many volunteers.
Hi, my name is Sharon Mori. I'm a second generation from Holland, and I work now for more than 6 years in Glory House.
In the course of 3 years, we were able to make Glory House profitable again. A lot of work still needs to be done.
Glory House must be a place of witnessing again by having conferences and workshops here, also for larger groups of people. We have a great plan for this. Thank you very much.
Last but not least, last Thursday, it was the 47th anniversary of the Holy Blessing that took place in London in 1978. At that time, 118 couples gathered to receive the blessing from our beloved true parents. And during the previous week, they gathered again in the various places of our continent in order to remember the amazing life they have been lived in the time of the Messiah.
Dear brothers and sisters, I would like to share with you a little bit of our conference that we had with Zoom with the Christian ministers on May 9th, the Day of Europe. At that time we addressed the question of how to rebuild in the heart of the European people a firm foundation of faith. At the time of the Constitution, European Constitution, they refused to make any reference to God or to the Christian heritage. Instead, now we see that they are raising the flag of the rainbow in order to promote and even to impose the value system of LGBT. This should be a concern for all believers. There was another message that I wanted to get across to the Christian ministers at that time, and that was that faith in itself is not a goal. It is a way, it is a means to reach a goal. And that goal is to come to understand God's heart, and that we can unite and align with it. And through this, we can also reach our true human value. Finally, we don't need faith anymore, because God can become a true, substantial, living God in our daily lives. Brothers and sisters, let's unite, and let's also look for other organizations who can join with us, and that we can bring back in Europe a strong foundation of faith.
Thank you very much for your work hard. Please take care of yourself, and please talk with Heavenly Parents always. See you.
So our message for this week is given by our brother Teisan Tatsumi, entitled Owner of Her Vision. Our brother is basing his message on the speech where True Mother revealed to us her plans for Vision 2027. And for those who were not able to watch the video or even to read her speech, we have prepared an excerpt of that video to share with you today before we receive the full message.
이 나라는 하늘의 소유로 되어야 할 나라입니다. 하늘 부모님이 계셔야 할 나라입니다. 그런데 뜻을 모르는 정치인, 뜻을 모르는 백성이 하늘의 섭리에 방해가 되면 안 되지 않습니까? 그러니까 여러분들이 교육을 하라는 거예요. 섭리의 진실, 역사를 알려주라는 것입니다. 다행스럽게도 내 자서전이 나왔습니다. 앞으로 내가 지상에 있는 동안에 모든 것을 다 정리정돈할 것입니다. 하늘 부모님께서 나와 함께 하고 계시니 기쁨과 송영을 돌려드리며 매일매일 하늘 부모님, 오늘은 어디에 아무개 나라가 부모님을 모시겠다고 결심했습니다. 이러한 보고를 매일매일 드리면서 적어도 내가 지상에 있는 10년이 될지 20년이 될지 모르지만은 77억 인류 가운데 3분의 1이라도 하늘 부모님을 알고 모실 수 있는 지상 천국을 실천해야 되겠습니다.
Good morning, everyone! Before I begin, let me introduce myself and my family. I'm Teisan Tatsumi. I usually go to the Church of Central London in Lancaster Gate. I'm a second gen of two parents' blessing. My father is Japanese and my mom is Egyptian. I spent most of my life in Japan, but I came to the UK 2 years ago as a delegate staff of my company. She's my wife, Sejong.
Good morning, everyone.
She's from a Korean-Japanese blessed family. And she is Haruna. Say good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
She's now 5 years old. And she is Seina.
Good morning.
She's now 3 years old. Very nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
Again, good morning everyone. When I was asked to do the sermon, to be honest, I really hesitated to accept that because I'm not a pastor or anything. So simply, I don't have much to say. I accepted anyway because through prayer, I understood Heavenly Parent knows me very well and still calling me. So there should be some message He wants to share with you all today by using me as a speaker. So hopefully you would get his point, and the title of the sermon is Be the Owner of the Vision. In order to understand where we are heading at the moment, I chose True Mother's recent message for today's reading. In it, Mother was explaining about coronavirus issue and providential history and what should we do right now and from now on. Mother was saying we should make at least 1/3 of 7.7 billion people to know and attend Heavenly Parent within 10 to 20 years. 10 to 20 years sounds long period, but that means 130 to 260 million people every year. That sounds challenging, right? Rome, however, was not built in a day, so today I want you to think about what should be the first step to do that. What should we do to make 2.6 billion people, 1/3 of 7.7 billion people, so 2.6 billion people, no one attend Heavenly Parent within 10 to 20 years? Maybe anything is fine, but I say we should start from Fundoke, reading True Father's and True Mother's words in order to implant heavenly tradition in our family. True Father was saying, you have to inherit the tradition. You must know it and practice it. The education through Fundoke is the way to inherit the tradition. A true father was also saying, a tree becomes big if it has a deep roots. If we want to have a big tree like 1/3 of this world, we ourselves have to be a deep roots which are connected with true parents. Before 1997, Unification members had been gathering and reading True Father's word randomly, but since 1997, True Father gave us a guidance that we have to do it as Fundoke every morning, even if we have to skip breakfast because of it. I know many of us are already doing it, but here I want to ask you if your families are also doing it together, because Heaven is not the place we can get in alone. We have to get in together with our family. True Father once said, the key to enter the kingdom of heaven is not the place to which you can go alone, but the place to which you must go with your parents, brothers, and sisters. Paradise is the place to which people go separately, discarding the intimacy of husband and wife or parent and child. Paradise doesn't have anything to do with the family. If your parents, husband, or wife, or grown-up kids doesn't do or cannot do fundoke at the moment every morning, we need to offer them a hand to involve, because we need to implant heavenly tradition into our family, not only into ourselves. Maybe a few line readings will be fine for a while. Maybe you can read more if you wish to before or after that. My kids are still too small, so me too do fundoke twice every morning. Once when I wake up around 4 o'clock, and again when my kids wake up around 6 or 7. So what we are trying to inherit through fundoke, what is the core of heavenly tradition? That's true love. In other words, living for the sake of others is the core of heavenly tradition. True Father said, to realize that we exist for the sake of others is the great achievement that changes our lives. When we realize that our life is not ours alone, but is meant to be for the sake of others, we begin to follow a path different from the one we were on. Just as singing to yourself will not make you happy, there is no joy without a partner. Even the smallest and most trivial thing can bring you happiness when you do it for another. That's a quote from Peace Loving Global Citizen. And True Father was also saying, I exist for my family. My family exists for our society. Our society exists for our nation. And our nation exists for the world. All the world exists for God. And God exists for you and me, for all mankind. In this great circle of give and take, there is harmony, there is unity, and there is an eternal process of increasing prosperity. That's a quote from God's Hope for Men. True love, in other words, living for the sake of others. By inheriting that heavenly tradition, we can be the owner of God's vision. Here, I want to go back to today's reading. True Mother was saying, while I am alive on this earth, it may be 10 years or it may be 20 years, at least 1/3 of 7.7 billion people should know and attend Heavenly Parent in their daily lives. We must realize the substantial kingdom of heaven on earth. 천일국. We are not going to ask True Mother or church leaders or anyone to achieve that goal for us. We are the ones achieve that goal for Heavenly Parent. We are the ones making the vision happen on earth. Family, tribe, society, nation, world. There are so many levels we need to bring it back to Heavenly Parent. So today, I want you to think about which one of those, family, tribe, society, nation, world, we are going to bring it back to Heavenly Parent by using our life. And in this 10 to 20 years, True Parents told us many times, Tribal Messiah mission is our minimum responsibility. So I'm sure everybody working on it. But so today, I want you to think about who is seriously thinking to restore the nation, who are trying to take the responsibility of bringing this nation back to Heavenly Parent. I believe God must be searching for that person who are going to bring this united kingdom back to Heavenly Parent. In Divine Principle, it's written that since Jesus came to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth, he was more in need of one leader who could guide 1,000 than 1,000 who would follow a leader. If we are the owner of Heavenly Parent's vision, we should be the one taking the responsibility to bring this United Kingdom back to Heavenly Parent. Maybe some of you might say you are already too old to do that. But if you are aged that much, you should have more knowledge and experience, and your words coming from your experience should be strong enough to move the leaders in this country. Maybe some of you might say you are still young, but your job or work does not or cannot directly to relate to the restoration of this country. But if we work and study hard and stands out in our own field, we can be the leader in that area. We would be able to have a leverage over the whole nation in that area. It's so easy for us to be satisfied in our current position or level after we get to a certain position. But in order to restore the nation, we shouldn't be satisfied with it. We should push ourselves further up to the next level, centering on to the parents. If you are still in study years, please set your life goal first. What do you want to do? What do the parents want you to do in order to restore the nation and world? After you have set your life goal, please study hard. To wrap up, today we confirmed where we are heading, and which is the restoration of the 1/3 of 7.7 billion people of the world within 10 to 20 years. To do so, as a first step, I explained the importance of fundoke, reading through parents' words, in order to implant heavenly tradition in our family. The core of heavenly tradition is true love. In other words, living for the sake of others. By inheriting that heavenly tradition, we can be the owner of the Heavenly Parent's vision. Thank you, and have a great Sunday.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Yesterday, our UK movement lost another national treasure, a bright light with the passing of our beloved brother, Henry Masters. On one hand, we can say, sadly, but on the other, we can say with great joy in our hearts that he has now passed on to reap the reward of a life well spent in his eternal home in heaven. When I think of Henry, the first memory that comes to my mind was when he and another brother came to the monastery in Surrey, where I was a novice, Franciscan monk. At Christmas, we novices were told we could go home for the day, but it was too far for me to go home to Cardiff, my hometown, so I wrote to the church in Row Lane farmhouse and asked if I could come and visit for the day. Not only did they say yes, but they offered to come and pick me up and bring me back again later. Henry was the one to drive down to Surrey and pick me up and to drive me back to Row Lane farmhouse. I was met by Avril and some other members, and so spent the day with them, where they made me feel like I had come home. During the course of the day, Avril and Henry spent some time teaching me the principle and helping me to understand what this movement was all about. As the day went on, Avril and Henry were encouraging me to understand that as the Messiah was on the earth, why would I want to spend my life in a monastery? By the time I was due to go back, I had come to the decision to leave the monastery and join, but I needed to go back and tell the monks that I was leaving. Needless to say, by the time Henry drove me back, it was very late, and we decided that Henry would wait for me in the car while I went in and told everyone that I was leaving. But unfortunately, they were all in bed, so there was no way that I could wake people up and tell them. So what I did was simply to leave my habit on the bed with a copy of the Divine Principle, sneak out of the door where I met Henry in the car, and away we drove. Not back to Row Lane Farmer House, though, but to Cleeve House, since there was a workshop for the members taking place. Later, Avril came to Cardiff, and she and I fundraised together, and before Henry and Avril finally went off to America for a number of years, with Henry helping father to develop the boat building business. Henry and Avril were very challenged at the time when they joined because of part of their social status, but also particularly their family's attitude. But with great heart and spirit and incredible faith, they pushed through all the obstacles they faced, and one can say almost literally, thinking of Jesus' words, passed through the eye of the needle, which Henry refers to in the title of his autobiography, and which you can also see in the beautiful short video of his life, The Eye of the Needle. Henry has embodied the absolute best of the English spirit, and one can understand through the example of his life and character how father would see and later refer to the British culture as splendid and the British as gentlemen. Father might well have seen this from elsewhere, but there is no doubt that he saw it perfectly epitomized in the very person of Henry Masters. And now, as they say, the rest is history. God bless you, Henry, and may you rest in absolute peace. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'd like to invite you to a bi-weekly Bible study that we've been doing with Uncle William for a few weeks now. We're going chronologically through the Bible, bringing some context from the TP, and it's really good. It's on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 3 p.m, usually between 1 and 2 hours, depending on how many questions there are. All are welcome, and the link to the Zoom should be in the description box below, so feel free to check it out.
Good morning. I hope you're all well. I want to invite you to a new experimental workshop I'll be teaching through Zoom from June the 1st. It's called Joining the Dots because it'll be examining some of the philosophical, scientific, political, economic and social implications of aspects of the principle and comparing them with the philosophy of the Bible as well as Greek philosophy. It's important and interesting to do this as it enables us to uncover the roots of European culture which shape the world in which we live in ways we cannot even begin to imagine. We'll discuss topics such as ontology, philosophy of language, chaos theory and evolution, gender issues, cultural Marxism, postmodernism, a myth, Platonism, and recent foreign policy, and see how we can apply the principle and engage with these topics and issues in a meaningful and constructive way. I do hope you'll be able to attend and participate. Thank you.
Have you ever read a good book, like Narnia, or Harry Potter, or The Twits? But what about the good book? That's right, Harp is starting a bi-monthly Bible study over Zoom, so join us. The details are on the Harp Facebook page or on the website. So I hope to see you there. Bye!
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Let's join together in the benediction prayer. Our loving Heavenly Parents, our beloved true parents, thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you for your love and thank you for your guidance that we could attend this worship service together as brothers and sisters from all over the country. Heavenly Parents, we heard a wonderful sermon by our brother Tyson And we are really grateful for the wonderful message he gave to us and that you could speak through him. Heavenly Parents, we are living in a time of great blessings, and we thank you for all the things that you give to us so freely. We want to invite you and ask for your blessing upon all brothers and sisters who attended this service and the brothers and sisters who could not attend this time. We pray for all your blessing on all the donations and the tithings that are being offered, that it can be in your hands and that this money can be used so wisely for your providence. I want to offer you this prayer with gratitude. I report in the name of all brothers and sisters here, in my name, Mititoma, of a blessed central family, our Jew.
So for more information about our announcements, there is more details and links in our Facebook page. If you go on Facebook and you search FFWPU UK, you should be able to find it there. And now that ends our Sunday service. I know, but we should be back next week. But for now, please join us in fellowship by following the Zoom link connected to the video. Thank you so much for coming. God bless you and have a beautiful and wonderful day.